Imagine yourself standing in the freezing aisle of a large UK supermarket. Glancing across dozens of brightly colored labels, you pick up a massive 2-liter tub of ice cream priced at under £1.50. Right at your eye level, your other hand reaches for a tiny, premium tub of less than 500 milliliters, yet carrying a steep price tag of nearly £6. It is a staggering discrepancy. However, simply comparing the volume printed on the packaging only tells half the story. Ice cream is one of the very few products in the entire supermarket where you could, quite literally, be paying for air. You might expect that 6-pound tub to deliver something absolutely extraordinary that the budget option cannot. But when you turn them around, the supermarket's pricing logic begins to fall apart. Are you truly paying for fresh dairy cream, authentic vanilla extract, and an originally dense texture, or are you simply opening your wallet for premium brand positioning? Welcome to Basket Verdict. In today's deep dive investigation, we are putting 12 of the most popular vanilla ice cream tubs sold in the UK to the ultimate test. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which tub provides the most generous actual weight for your family, which is the perfect dairy-free alternative, which boasts the finest British whole cow's milk, and crucially, which tub delivers an unbeatable overall value that puts all its rivals to shame. We must clarify right from the start that we are not on a hunt for a healthy ice cream. After all, ice cream is a dessert. It is an indulgence. The core question we are asking here is, does this tub provide the ingredient quality and sensory experience to justify the hard-earned cash you are paying for it? Before we begin eliminating contenders and crowning our winners, we need to decode the 3 biggest label traps the food industry has set. The first trap is the price per liter. The fact that 2 tubs both hold a volume of 1 liter absolutely does not mean they contain the same physical mass of ice cream. During the manufacturing process, air is whipped into the mixture to create a soft, scoopable texture and to increase volume. To find out if you are being sold overpriced trapped air, we conducted a rigorous density test, measuring exactly 500 milliliters of each ice cream and placing it on a digital scale. Volume only tells you how much space the tub takes up in your freezer, but the weight on the scale reveals the brutal truth of how many grams of actual product will enter your mouth. The second trap is the illusion of creaminess. A rich, melting sensation on the tongue does not automatically mean fresh cream is the primary ingredient. By UK law, ingredients must be listed in descending order of their weight. A tub that proudly begins its list with whole milk, double cream, sugar, tells you a fundamentally different story from a tub that quietly begins with reconstituted skimmed milk, glucose syrup, vegetable fat. The second formula is not toxic in the slightest, but it is clear evidence that these are 2 products sitting in entirely different classes of quality. And the third trap is assuming a short ingredient list automatically offers the best value. A tub containing only 6 pure, flawless ingredients might be a genuinely premium product, but is its flavor and experience magnificent enough to justify it being 5 times more expensive than its competitors? Let us glance at the 8 tubs that haven't quite done enough to make it into our grand finale. Note that these are not terrible ice creams. They simply fail to provide a strong enough reason regarding value for you to choose them. Starting in the luxury segment, where expense easily overshadows practicality, Remeo Madagascan Vanilla Bourbon Gelato and Hackney Gelato Madagascan Vanilla are prime examples. They boast a highly artisanal style, featuring beautiful formulas made with whole milk, fresh cream, and egg yolks. However, at a converted price of nearly 12 or 13 pounds a liter, they become luxury items, entirely losing their everyday value for an ordinary family. Similarly, Jude's Vanilla Clotted Cream contains an impressive 12% clotted cream, an excellent recipe, but its price of 12.5 pounds a liter makes it very difficult to compete economically when placed next to our ultimate winners. Even an icon like Häagen-Dazs Vanilla falls into a similar predicament. When it comes to the purity of ingredients, it is virtually unparalleled. Its formula is brilliantly authentic and concise, containing only fresh cream at nearly 40%, condensed skimmed milk, sugar, water, egg yolk, and natural vanilla flavoring. Very few tubs on the market maintain such beautiful DNA, yet with a standard price hovering between 12.5 to 13 pounds a liter, it is clearly an indulgence rather than a champion of consumer value. Possessing the finest ingredient list and delivering the most practical value for your pocket are two completely different achievements. Leaving the luxury segment behind, we step into the mass market, where the line between big brands and supermarket own labels becomes heavily blurred. Wall's Soft Scoop Vanilla is a familiar giant in many households, featuring a friendly price of about £1.53 per liter. However, its formula relies entirely on reconstituted skimmed milk, water, and coconut oil. It is highly convenient, but in reality, you are paying a premium just for the brand name printed on the tub compared to a supermarket's own label, without receiving any noticeable difference in ingredient quality. Meanwhile, essential Waitrose Vanilla Soft Scoop and Tesco Soft Scoop Vanilla both offer incredibly cheap price points, but they miss out on the top four simply because another contender manages to do the exact same job at an even lower rock-bottom price. Perhaps the most disappointing in this segment is Carte Madagascan Vanilla. Despite being positioned at a fairly high price of around £4.33 a liter and boasting the words Madagascan Vanilla, its foundational ingredients are still reconstituted skimmed milk and coconut fat. When an ice cream crosses the £4 per liter threshold, it must step into the arena of fresh dairy, and Carte simply loses its breath in that fair fight. Looking at these 8 eliminated tubs, 3 truths of the frozen food industry begin to emerge. Firstly, an expensive price tag does buy real ingredients, but the markups imposed by premium brands are sometimes completely unreasonable. Secondly, cheap ice cream does not contain poison. Ingredients that sound chemical, like stabilizers and emulsifiers, actually play a crucial technical role in keeping the ice cream soft and preventing it from turning into a solid block of ice in your freezer. And thirdly, comparing the price per liter alone is a flawed battlefield. But once we have filtered through all those illusions, here are the 4 tubs that truly deserve every penny you spend, catering to entirely different needs. Starting with the perfect choice for a very specific dietary requirement. The best dairy-free tub, Swedish Glace Vanilla, in the 750 milliliter size. Priced at about £4.33 a liter, do not be quick to dismiss this tub just because it lacks fresh dairy. Eliminating dairy is exactly its purpose and reason for existing. Designed specifically for vegans, those with dairy allergies, or anyone who is lactose intolerant, this formula made from water, coconut fat, and soy protein perfectly solves a very strict dietary need. It justifies its price through the practical value and refinement it brings to those who genuinely need a safe and delicious dessert. If you are looking for the sheer power of volume, the best ultra-budget family tub is Ms. Molly's Vanilla in the 2-liter size. Its price is almost unbelievable, a mere 68 pence for a liter. Yes, we must admit this is a mass-market soft scoop, made from reconstituted skim milk, whey, syrup, and palm oil. It has no romantic exterior, it tells no story of distant Madagascan origins, nor does it contain a single drop of clotted cream. But it doesn't deceive you or pretend to be a luxury good either. Its promise is incredibly simple and practical, to provide a massive, cooling dessert for a large family on a summer day for practically nothing. That honesty, combined with its absolute economic power, makes its price completely justified and unbeatable in this segment. But if you crave a genuinely rich, creamy experience without emptying your wallet, the best rich British dairy pick goes to Kelly's Cornish Clotted Cream in the 950 milliliter tub. Priced at about £4.21 a liter, the proof of its absolute power lies right in the first ingredients that catch your eye. Cornish whole milk, 10% premium clotted cream, sugar, and butter oil. Let's weigh it against Carte d'Or. Both cost over £4 a litre, but one proudly begins with fresh whole milk and clotted cream, while the other quietly relies on reconstituted milk powder and coconut oil. This is a massive contrast in core value. The only drawback to Kelly's is its high saturated fat content, requiring you to enjoy it with proper portion control. But if a profoundly rich, authentic dairy flavor is your ultimate goal, this is an incredibly worthwhile purchase. And finally, taking the #1 spot for the ultimate overall value, a spectacular upset across the entire freezer aisle, is Mackie's traditional luxury dairy ice cream in the 2-liter tub. Its standard price at Tesco is only around £2.32 per litre. Look closely at its formula: 62% whole milk and 19% whipping cream. This means that fresh milk and cream combined make up an astonishing 81% of the total declared recipe weight. Look at this perfect, almost absurd contrast. Mackie's costs £2.32, Carte d'Or is £4.33, Kelly's is £4.21, and those artisanal gelato tubs out there demand up to £12 a litre. Yet Mackie's formula overwhelmingly dominates with its fresh dairy content compared to its pricier rivals. Although it still uses a touch of stabilizer and emulsifier to maintain its structure when frozen, the sheer amount of real, fresh dairy you receive for such an affordable price is ridiculously competitive. Mackie's doesn't win because it has the shortest ingredient list. It wins because it completely shatters the consumer misconception that you must pay tens of pounds for the privilege of eating ice cream made from real cow's milk. To help you make your final purchasing decision easily, remember these 3 golden rules so you never fall into a supermarket trap again. First, never blindly trust the large liter measurement printed on the tub. Pay attention to the actual weight. Volume only tells you how much space it occupies, whereas weight tells you exactly how much ice cream you are buying and what percentage of it is just air. Second, always read the first 4 ingredients on the back to see whether the foundation of the tub is rich whole milk or just powdered milk mixed with water. Neither is toxic. They are simply 2 products on entirely different quality levels. And third, do not be automatically frightened by the names of stabilizers. They play an important technical role in keeping the ice cream smooth and preventing it from becoming icy and hard. The right question you must ask yourself is, does this ingredient formula justify the price tag they have set? Returning to the 2 tubs at the start of this video, the biggest lesson to take away is this: cheap ice cream is not rubbish, and expensive ice cream is not necessarily a scam. Price simply buys very different things on different shelves of the freezer. On the bottom shelf, your money buys massive volume, fluffy softness, and maximum convenience for your budget. In the middle, you are buying a much more generous, richer amount of fresh, whole dairy. And right at the top shelf, you are paying for the strict minimalism of the recipe, an extremely high butterfat content, artisanal origins, and luxurious packaging design. The front of every ice cream tub uses gorgeous imagery to sell you indulgence, but only the digital scale, the ingredient list on the back, and your own spoon will tell you the final truth of whether that indulgence is actually worth your money. Share this video with whoever is in charge of buying desserts for your family, because the most expensive tub in the freezer might not be the one giving you the most value.